1, 2, 3.
A Persian scout crouches on a ridge above a narrow mountain pass, counting. The scout reports, "My lord, I counted their numbers at the wall, perhaps 300 men total." A Persian officer says, 300
Impossible.
against
They
200,000.
have breached the wall.
The scout reports, "There's something else. Some of them are combing their hair." The officer says, "Combing their... Why would men preparing to die comb their hair?" Demaratus says,
they
"Because
will not
they're Spartans. And that's what Spartans do before a battle they don't expect to survive." 480 BC, a narrow pass in northern Greece called Thermopylae. And the story you've heard about what happened here, 300 Spartans, alone, against an empire, isn't actually true. It's not a lie, it's just incomplete. And the missing part is more interesting than the legend. To understand Thermopylae, you first need to understand the scale of what was coming. Xerxes, king of Persia, had assembled the largest invasion force the ancient world had ever seen. Some ancient sources claim over 1 million men, though modern historians place the real number closer to 200,000. Either way, it was an army so large that, according to Herodotus, it drank rivers dry as it marched. Greece, fractured into dozens of independent city-states that rarely agreed on anything, had exactly one narrow mountain pass standing between that army and the rest of the country. Thermopylae, the name means hot gates, named for the sulfur springs nearby. At its narrowest point, the pass was barely wide enough for a single cart. A Greek commander says, "We can't win this war in open battle, not against numbers like that."
We
Leonidas
must
says,
hold the
"Then we
pass.
don't fight it in the open, we fight it
Tonight,
here, where their numbers mean
we
nothing."
fight.
Here is the detail almost nobody tells you. It wasn't 300 Spartans standing alone. The Greek force at Thermopylae numbered somewhere between 7 and 10,000 men. Spartans, yes, but also soldiers from Thespiae, Corinth, Thebes, Arcadia, and a dozen other city-states, all committed to the same impossible defense. The 300 were simply the personal royal guard of King Leonidas, the ones who stayed until the very end. Everyone else fought too. History just remembered the 300, because their story had the cleanest ending. There's also a reason it was only 300 Spartans in the first place, and it has nothing to do with bravery.
The
A Spartan
oracle has
ephor
spoken,
says,
Leonidas.
"The Carnea festival
Go
has
not to
begun.
war."
Sacred law forbids the full army from marching until it ends." Leonidas
Tonight,
says, "Then
we
I'll take my
fight!"
personal guard. 300 men who already have sons to carry their names. It wasn't strategy. It was religious law tying Sparta's hands, and Leonidas choosing men who wouldn't leave grieving fathers behind if none of them returned. For 2 days, the plan worked exactly as intended. The narrow pass meant Persia's overwhelming numbers counted for almost nothing. Only a small portion of Xerxes' army could engage at any one time. Wave after wave of Persian soldiers, including Xerxes' elite guard, the Immortals, broke against the Greek line and fell back. A Persian officer
My
reports, "My lord,
the Greeks have held the pass.
Immortals have been repelled, twice." Xerxes says, "Repelled by farmers and shopkeepers with spears." Demaratus says,
O king,
"Not farmers, my
shall
lord.
I speak truth,
Spartans.
or what?"
I told you this would happen." For 2 full days, it looked like the impossible might actually hold. The pass was doing exactly what Leonidas had gambled it would do, turning Persia's greatest strength into a meaningless number. Then, a local shepherd named Ephialtes walked into the Persian camp. He offered Xerxes
show you the
something no
path.
army in that pass
And
could
what
stop.
do you seek?
Ephialtes says, "There's a mountain path. It goes around the pass entirely. I can show you." Xerxes says, "Why would you betray your own people?" Ephialtes says, "Because your king pays better than my king ever will." That single act of betrayal, one man, for one reward, unraveled a defense that 200,000 Persian soldiers had failed to break in 2 days of direct assault. By dawn on the third day, Persian soldiers were descending behind the Greek line. A Greek scout reports,
Sire,
Leonidas,
they
they're
come!
behind us.
The
The
Persians
path.
are crossing.
Someone showed them the path. For a moment, it looked like everything the Greeks had built here was about to collapse into total disaster. The entire defense erased by one man's greed, the pass meaningless, the sacrifice for nothing. Leonidas made a decision that changed how this battle would be remembered forever. Leonidas says, most of you will withdraw. Now, while there's still time. A Corinthian commander says, withdraw, we can still fight. Leonidas says, you can still fight somewhere that matters. This position is finished. But someone has to hold long enough for the rest of Greece to prepare. He sent most of the army home, thousands of soldiers, ordered to survive and fight another day. He kept his 300 Spartans, roughly 700 volunteers from Thespiae who refused to leave, and several hundred Thebans, whose loyalty to the cause remains debated by historians to this day. Somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 men chose to stay and die so the others could live. What followed was not really a battle anymore. It was an execution, fought with extraordinary discipline. Surrounded on both sides, the Greeks fought with spears until their spears broke, then swords until their swords broke, then, according to Herodotus, with their bare hands and teeth when even that was gone. A Spartan soldier says, Leonidas is down. A Spartan officer says, then we fight over his body. We do not let them take him. Leonidas himself died in the fighting, and the Greeks fought a desperate, furious battle simply to recover his corpse from the Persian line before the position was finally overrun completely. Every remaining Spartan and Thespian died at Thermopylae. Every single one. Here is why it mattered anyway. While Leonidas held that pass for 3 days, the Greek navy fought a parallel battle at Artemisium, buying critical time. Those 3 days allowed Athens to complete a full evacuation of its civilian population before the city fell. And the delay gave the rest of Greece time to prepare the defense that would actually decide the war. 1 month later, at Salamis, the Greek navy destroyed Xerxes' fleet in a battle that historians consider the true turning point of the entire Persian invasion. Thermopylae didn't win the war. It bought the time that made winning the war possible. The 300 Spartans didn't hold that pass alone, and they didn't win the battle that made their name legendary. They lost, completely and totally. But somewhere between a shepherd's betrayal and a king's decision to send most of his army home, a small group of men turned a military defeat into the single most important delay in ancient Greek history. If you want to understand what happened next, the naval battle that actually broke Persia's invasion for good, that story is already waiting for you. Subscribe, because Salamis is where this war was truly decided.